What up, y'all? Welcome to this episode of The Growth Blueprint. I am super excited about this one. It's one I've been mulling over for multiple days now, and what we're going to talk about, there's a guide in the show notes, so in the description of this video, if you want to click on that, I want to walk you through this guide, and I'm going to teach you everything that I have learned about setting goals and achieving them successfully in my own personal life, and everything that I've learned from coaching other people and helping them achieve their goals in their lives. And so that's what this episode is going to be about, is the things that I have learned from doing 75 Hard multiple times, the stuff that I've learned coaching people doing 75 Hard, taking people from all walks of life, personally, you know, all of these things. And there's a right way and there's a wrong way to do this. And so we'll just go ahead and jump in, and I'll kind of set the stage. So I'm going to be walking you through the guide at the end of the episode after we have gone through some of the mindset stuff around this, because that is where it all starts. And so I need you to understand a couple things first before we actually get down to the nitty-gritty of setting goals and making a plan. So just to kind of set the stage here, everybody has the same goals. Everybody has always had the same goals, and everybody will probably always continue to have the same goals. And fundamentally, that is to be in better shape, make more money than you did last year, be happier than you were last year, maybe have a better relationship with your spouse than you did last year, you know, maybe upgrade your car, right? We all want the same things. I think you can get the picture, right? It's not that we have all these different goals. We all pretty much want the same stuff. But we don't all get the same stuff, right? Not everybody's wealthy. Not everybody's in shape. Not everybody has amazing relationships left, right, and center, right? And so, you know, wanting these things doesn't make you special. Everybody wants these things. And so it's not enough to just want it, okay? You have to dig a little bit deeper, and you have to come up with a plan to get it. And that is the difference. And there's these two cliches that I love, right? But you can't hit what you're not aiming at, is the first one. And so you need to actually know what you're aiming at. And the second one is, back to this goal thing, you know, we all have the same goals, but we do not rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our systems. And if you've spent enough time around me, you've definitely heard me say that one. I can't take credit for it. It's not mine, but it's so good because we all have the same goals. The difference is the systems that we have in place that move us towards those goals, or the lack of systems that don't move us towards those goals. That's what actually makes the difference. And so throughout this podcast, and especially when we get to the exercise, we're going to develop a system that's going to help move you towards those goals so that you can actually at least make progress towards them this year, or even achieve them. So if you're willing to go through this with me, you're going to come out the other side with a plan and a lot of clarity going into 2025. Or even, like, it doesn't matter what time of year that you actually end up even watching this video. If you're watching this video, you know, you're obviously wanting to set some goals and make some changes in your life. And so do this exercise regardless of the time of year that this is, you know, hitting your earballs, because it'll be very, very impactful. And so let's start to get into understanding how this all works. And so we'll briefly touch on some of the ideas that I have around the psychology of this and what I've learned doing 75 Hard. There's two big takeaways for me that I really want to share with you. And the first big takeaway is what I learned from 75 Hard. And the second big takeaway is what I have learned coaching other individuals. And so we'll start with 75 Hard. So for those of you that don't know, 75 Hard is a mental toughness challenge, and it's very difficult. It's 75 days long. You have to do everything every day for 75 days in a row, and if you screw anything up, you have to start over and you fail. And it's 6 rules. You have to drink a gallon of water every day. You have to read 10 pages of nonfiction every day. You have to follow a diet every day. You have to work out twice every day, once inside, once outside. You have to take a progress picture every day, and you cannot drink any alcohol. And it's that for 75 days straight. And you can't, if you miss anything, you start over. So it's an incredibly high pressure kind of challenge. You have to do all of these things that are quite difficult and not even conducive to like long-term success, I would say, because like it's not conducive to your body to work out twice a day, every day, 75 days in a row. Like that's not very good for you. Drinking a gallon of water, like you could argue one way or the other, but the point is it is a very rigid, very strict style of guideline that you do. And so I have done this twice. I've done it at the beginning of the last 2 years, and I'm going to do it into this next year as well. And the reason why I'm going to do it again is because of, I haven't named this idea, so I'll just kind of explain it to you. But our brains form habits based on the number of repetitions that it does of the thing. And so if you think about a baby learning how to walk, a baby gets better at walking by trying to walk. And the more frequently your baby tries to walk, the more quickly it becomes good at walking. And so it is with the formation of any kind of new habit. And so if you can front load the effort in a period of time where you may be feeling motivated to make a change, maybe because it's New Year's and you're making a New Year's resolution, right? The more you can condense activity into a period of time, the better the outcome is going to be. And so you could do 90 repetitions of a new habit in 90 days. You could do 90 repetitions of a new habit in 180 days. You could do 90 repetitions of a habit in 365 days, right? But obviously, you're probably going to be better and make more progress and get closer to your goals if you can condense the days that it takes you to complete that habit. And so, to use an example from my own personal life from 75 Hard, water for me. The first time I did 75 Hard, drinking a gallon of water was stupid hard for me. It was insane. I would end my days like chugging a third of a gallon of water consistently. Like I consistently had to chug a bunch of water, and I'd be getting up in the middle of the night to pee. It'd be the first thing that I did in the morning. Like it was really difficult for me. But after doing that 75 days in a row, I did 75 Hard the second time, and without like actually having thought about water for 9-10 months, right? I thought about it for the first 3 months of that year, but then I didn't really think about water anymore. And just naturally, I ended up drinking over a gallon of water without even trying the second time that I did 75 Hard. And the reason why was because I crammed the execution of the new habit into such a confined amount of time that my body so naturally just accepted it as reality. And that's the point that I want to get across to you, is activities need to be practiced consistently, and the more consistently you can practice them, as in like if you can do it every day, do it every day, because that is where fast change and quick results actually comes from. And the life change, the lifestyle change is the most effective, is the harder you go, the quicker it happens. And now, I don't want you to say, well, he said go harder so it happens faster, and then like diet yourself to death. That's not the point. The point is around activities themselves. And that's going to segue into the next point that I have, which is coaching other people with weight loss, which is, you know, what I'm really good at. All of my clients, they all come to me with the same goal, right? I want to lose weight. I want to lose weight. I want to feel better. I want to balance my hormones. I want to live a healthier, active life. You know, that's what all of my clients' goals are. You know, everybody that talk, again, it's just one of those same things. Like we all have the same goals, right? And so this next big point is that our brains aren't really good at problem solving something like that. Like if I told you, okay, create for me a cannot fail foolproof plan to lose 20 pounds. you would have no idea what to do. No clue. You'd have no idea how to do this. I mean, I could give you 3 weeks to come up with a plan and you still wouldn't be able to do it, right? And that's the point, is our brains are super bad at solving these big complex problems that span over a long period of time. Now, if instead I asked you, what is one thing that if you changed it and you did it for 90 days would probably make you feel better, or would probably help you lose weight, or is probably something that you should be doing that would get you closer to your goals? Well, now you start to have some ideas rolling through your head. Maybe you could cut out the fast food. Maybe you could drink a protein shake. Maybe you could go on some more walks. Maybe you could not sit down as much. Maybe you could go to the gym a couple more days a week, right? So now you have all these ideas going through your head, and they're actions, right? They are things that you can execute on. And so my second point for you is that you need to get very specific on the things that you are going to do. And so from 75 Hard and from coaching other people, one of the things that's so beneficial about having very specific actions is because then you will have a daily scorecard of how good you're doing, right? Are you failing or are you succeeding? You either did the thing or you didn't do the thing, right? There's not really any ambiguity around this. And so you can apply this to any situation. If you want to have a better relationship with your spouse, what is one thing that if you did for 90 days would probably have a positive impact? Maybe you kiss them goodbye every morning. Now you have a thing to judge yourself on the progress that you're making towards this outcome that you want on a daily basis. Did you kiss your spouse goodbye today? Yes or no? And so you really have to define these activities and get really clear on them in regards to moving forward and making progress in your life. And so point number 1 is frequency of the habit crammed into as little time as possible is going to lead to quicker results and more profound life change. And number 2 is specificity of that habit, right? And understanding that our brains are really bad at big problems, but they're a lot better at picking a couple different things. So now that we've gotten those things out of the way, those are kind of the big things, then the reasons that I built this guide. So looking at your guide, there are 3 things at the bottom, on the 3rd page, okay? Now, you can put more, you can put less, it doesn't really matter. I wouldn't recommend doing more than 6 because 75 Hard has 6 and doing 6 is incredibly overwhelming. So I would recommend probably 3 or 4. 3 or 4 things, 3 or 4 daily habits practiced for 90 days is gonna blow your life wide open, I promise you. So at the bottom of that guide, right, there's goal, there's plan, and there's why. So what I want you to do is I want you to pause this and I want you to think about the areas in your life that you want to see improve. And maybe that is losing weight, right? Maybe it is having a better relationship with your spouse. Maybe it is making more money. It doesn't really matter. But just whatever those first kind of things, maybe write it, get a piece of paper. First of all, get a piece of paper and write, how do I want to see my life change? And then just sit there and let your brain kind of dump stuff. And then just write that stuff down, okay? And so pause the video and do that. And then come back when you're done. Okay, welcome back. So now that you've brain dumped, right, I want you to pick the 3 things that are the most important to you. And so maybe it's lose weight, maybe it's connect with your kids more, maybe it's try to make an extra 10 grand this year. Whatever. Just write down those goals, okay? So whatever those 3 goals are, now you write them in the thing. And so now for plan, what I want you to do is I want you to, again, get your sheet of paper and I want you to write your goal. So you have 3 things on your paper. You have goal 1, goal 2, goal 3. And then underneath those, and go ahead and pause the video so you can do this and take the time to do this, I want you to ask yourself the question, write this down. What is something I could start tomorrow that would help me move closer to this goal? And maybe write down 1 or 2 things, okay? So go ahead and pause the video and do that. What are 1 or 2 things that if I started tomorrow would move me closer to this goal? So pause the video, do that. Okay, sweet, welcome back. So now you should have some tactical things that you could start tomorrow that could help you move towards these goals, right? And these should be small actions. These should not be like overwhelmingly gigantic things. And so again, if your goal is to lose some amount of weight, you should have written some activities that will move you forward and help you make progress. So if you're not exercising, maybe you're taking a walk every day. And maybe you're trying to drink a gallon of water. There you go. Drink a gallon of water, take a walk every day. Marvelous. Your second goal was connect more with your kids. Maybe you decide, okay, I'm going to ask them to tell me something that made them smile today, and you're going to ask them that every single day for the next 90 days. Great, awesome. There we have another action. And maybe your last one was, we said it was make $10,000 extra this year. Maybe every single day you're going to spend 15 minutes looking on Facebook Marketplace for items you think you could flip, or maybe you're good at crafting things, or you're good at woodworking, or like whatever, but you spend 15 minutes every day trying to figure out how you're going to make some extra money. Or if you already have a little side hustle, you're going to spend an extra 15 minutes like trying to make that side hustle make more money, right? And so the idea here, and what I want you to avoid, and so if you didn't really get anything that you feel like is good or resonates with you, I want you to listen very carefully. You're not supposed to be able to come up with a perfect plan. I am a professional. I'm a physiologist that understands the human body very well, that understands the female physiology very well, and I don't give people a perfect plan, because it's not possible to just like go from zero to a perfect plan. What you have to do is focus yourself and start moving in the general direction. And this is what I do with all of my clients is we say, okay, like we know the outcome that you want. Let's start moving in the general direction and see what happens. And so what I don't want you to get is paralysis by analysis and think that you have to come up with this perfect stack of options of activities that you're supposed to be doing in order to be successful. And again, 6 activities. 6 activities for 75 Hard was brutal. I'm telling you, it was brutal. Ask anybody that's done 75 Hard. It's insane. It's really hard. Like, I would not end up with more than 6 activities, because that's gonna be insanely difficult. I'm telling you, like 3 or 4 or 5 activities, 6 activities, maybe if some of them are like super easy. But like for the actions, for your action plan, for your goals in the second row, like you don't want to have a bunch of these things. I just want you to think of what are some things that if in 90 days are gonna get you closer to your goal. You don't have to get to the goal in 90 days. The point is we want to be closer than we are right now. And so if you have these actions, this is the next filter that I want you to run everything through. Now you have the actions that you've listed for the goals. I want you to look at the action and say, if I did this for the next 90 days, is this going to make my situation with this goal better or worse? And it should be better, right? Duh. It's not going to make it worse, but it doesn't have to be perfect. All it has to do is make it better. Okay? All it has to do is get you closer. Because as you get closer, your circumstances are going to change. You are going to change as an individual. And as your circumstances change, and as you as an individual change, your vantage point from which to make good decisions that move you even closer to your goal is going to change. Okay? That's the point. All right? And so all we need to do is know that these actions right here that we've written are going to, if we do them for the next 90 days in a row, they are going to put me in a better circumstance than I'm currently in. That's all you need to know that they're going to do, okay? So, moving on, now I want us to look at whys, okay? And the purpose of having these whys is because at some point in time over the next 365 days, you're for sure not going to want to keep doing these things. Guarantee it. And having a why, a powerful why, a why that makes you feel bad for not doing it, that's called intrinsic motivation. And you may have heard this term, but intrinsic motivation is wanting to do the thing for the sake of the thing. And so it's not like making yourself do it like discipline. Intrinsic motivation is this desire to do the thing because you want to do the thing, not because you feel like you have to, okay? And having a good why is going to give you some extra motivation for when stuff sucks and you don't want to do it, okay? And so I want you to, this is another little exercise that I want you to do, but I want you to close your eyes and I want you to think about the goal that you wrote down. And I want you to think about, if I achieved this, how would my life change? And for each of your goals, I want you to write how your life is going to change if you achieved it in the box down at the bottom, in the why box, okay? And again, you don't have to do this on the actual sheet. You could just do this on a piece of paper where you write goal, plan, why. Just do it on a piece of paper. But now I want you to do that. I want you to imagine what would your life be like if you accomplished this goal. How would it change you? How would it change how you interact with your family? How would it change the way that, you show up at work? How would it change you as a significant other, as a spouse, as a friend, as a sibling, as a daughter, as a son, as a mother, as a father, like whatever. Think about all the different ways that it would change your life to accomplish this goal. And then what I want you to do is I want you to take that piece of paper and I want you to put it somewhere that you're going to see it every day. Maybe put it on like the front door, right on the front door, like not facing the outside world, but like facing in, so that when you go to open that door and leave to go do whatever you're doing every day, you see that thing and you see, okay, these were the actions that I talked about. These were the goals that I decided on. And this is why I want this. And you're going to see that every day. And you're going to get this reminder in the morning, every day. And look at it when you come home. Look at it when you close the door. There's your reminder. This is what I want. This is how I get closer to getting those things. And this is why I want this stuff. So that's a wrap. That is how I set goals. It's how I help my clients set goals. It's how I have progressed in my life and overcome all of the crazy shit that I've gone through in my life. And how I help my clients overcome the crazy shit that they got going on in their lives. So hopefully that helps you get some clarity on how to set good goals. Because everybody's really bad at setting goals. It's really easy to set crappy goals, and it's significantly more difficult to set good goals. And this is how I set good goals. This is how I encourage my clients to set good goals. So yeah, as always, if you spent your time with me, then I greatly appreciate it, because time is your most valuable resource. And so if you did spend that with me, I'm forever in your debt. But if you thought that this was worth it, go ahead and rate the show. That would be amazing. That makes a huge difference for me. Share it with somebody that you feel like could benefit from this. And I will see y'all in the next one.